Sunday, time for a comic show. Went to the Wayne show. What did I pick up and why? Let's look next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hello, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that great stuff. You know what to do. Other socials, Instagram, Bronzeville_Comics, whatnot, Bronzeville_Comics. We do sales every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and also watch out this summer for weekday shows. There is a link in the description of this video. If you're not yet signed on with Whatnot, you can use the link in the description. Get $10 off your first purchase, regardless of who it's with. Also, in the description of this video is a link to my eBay store as well as my email. So, I went to the Wayne Comic Show, which is one of the shows in Northern Jersey that happens about once a month. The same organizers do shows in Wayne, Clifton, and I think Woodbridge. Now, Woodbridge is a little more southern New Jersey and a little bit further away from me. So, Clifton is like the closest, and I go to there most often. But I went to Wayne just to see some vendors, and they had two rooms. There's a big difference in the two rooms. The room, as you entered, the room on the left was air conditioned, and the cell service was good. The room on the right, no air conditioning, and it was hard to get a cell signal. So that, for a comic book hunter, is a little bit difficult in terms of, you know, pricing and key collector and all that sort of stuff. So I kind of had to go with memory. And so I didn't, a lot of folks had dollar bins. And I kind of flipped through the dollar bins, but I was looking more in the $5+ bins. And I think I got some really good books. And I'm going to talk about what the purpose of the books is. Com Comics had like a half price off on a lot of books. So I picked up this Infinity Inc. 14. This is the first Todd McFarlane cover for DC. And so this is a sought-after book. You see the McFarlane signature, and this is a very minty copy. This is going to go in the potential CGC pile. That'll probably be in a pre-screen. This is a nice, high-quality book, and I thought it might be worth more. It's the third appearance of Harley Quinn in DC continuity. Nice Joker cover. So that, I have a copy of that already. That is going in the sell pile. Remember, I talk often on this channel about sell, slab, save, spec. This is kind of, it would be a spec book, except this is in really sharp condition. This is DC Comics Presents number 53. This is the first appearance of Ambush Bug. A rather minor character, but an interesting one. The book is a little bit wavy, but it is a great candidate for a press, and I think it is actually a candidate with a press. So that goes in the slab pile, or at least the potential slab pile. We'll give it a clean and a press, see how it comes out, and then depending upon, and I'm way behind in getting books ready to clean and press. It's not like this book is going out anytime soon. Then Batman 475. This is the first appearance of Renee Montoya, who later on becomes the Question. This is also, I think, a pretty high-grade book. It's about a $100 book. The Ambush Bug is about $180 in a 9.8. I had done a video on DC keys from the 80s that already have value. Then I picked this up. This is Green Lantern 25. This is a lead up to Blackest Night. It's kind of between, it's the Sinestro Corps War. Was that part 11? And it introduces a lot of the other lanterns, including, I think most significant ones are Larfleeze and Atrocitus. This is, it has a couple of ticks, so it's not a 9.8 candidate. I have a copy already. It'll go to sell. Then I picked this. This is a book I had been specking on for a couple of years. And kind of went up and down. I got two copies of Justice League 31. This is the first appearance of Jessica Cruz, who is a Green Lantern, and I've talked about the character before. I think she's a great character to spec on. I kind of am interested in the diverse characters, especially in the DC canon, because I'm more knowledgeable about DC than Marvel. There are two things I like about Jessica Cruz, in terms of using what DC's done in their animated products, things that appeal to kids. In one of the DC original movies, which I think Bruce Timm was involved in, there's a Green Lantern, and I think it's Green Lantern and the Fatal Five or something like that, where Jessica Cruz is the main Green Lantern character, and the antagonists are the Fatal Five from the Legion of Superheroes comics. But it's a really good series, and it highlights her. And in the second iteration of DC Superhero Girls, which were animated shorts on Cartoon Network, she's one of the featured characters. So that kind of informs me that these characters, there have been action figures done of Jessica Cruz, are characters that are appealing to a younger audience. And that's one of the things, that's the future, right? And I think the thing to remember, a big part of that for DC is Teen Titans Go. Those characters are very well known by anybody probably in their mid-20s or younger. Because that's been played all the time on Cartoon Network. My kids have stumbled across it. Friends' kids have stumbled across it. It is a very well-known property that had its own feature film. And old school fans may think that it's too silly, but it is a pop culture phenomenon, and I think that it is important in terms of the recognition of characters as DC potentially starts to build their stable of live action products, which I will say, now one of these is better than the other. I think this is the one that's gradable, and most of these that I'm talking about gradable are like 9/8 pre-screen candidates. With the looming Screen Actors Guild strike and the writers having been on strike for a couple of months, I think it's now a little bit of a dangerous time to speculate on what properties are coming to the MCU or the DCU, or just in general, because we don't know when new product is going to start reemerging, or when announcements are going to be made about future projects adapted from comic books, regardless of Marvel, DC, independent, or whatever. This book I picked up, I really like this. This is Lone Wolf and Cub, #1. I think I need one more for the series. I have to double check my checklist. It's a Japanese manga. And you talk about movie adaptations. I think there were 5 movies based on this manga done in the early 1970s that I recommend. And I recommend this book as well. Frank Miller kind of pioneered bringing this to First Comics in the 90s. These are square bounds, so that's a cool book. Then just an Adam Hughes Catwoman, which is kind of, you can see the Catwoman cover is inspired by Lone Wolf and Cub. Lone Wolf and Cub is also known as the Baby Cart Assassin, and I think the Mandalorian took a lot of inspiration from that property. So those are Cell. This is a really high-grade copy of Uncanny X-Men 283, the first full appearance of Bishop. I think it's a 9/8 contender, so that's kind of slab/spec. Same thing here. Oblivion Song was an independent title by Robert Kirkman that Jake Gyllenhaal was attached to. I do have a 9.8 of this. It's a really cheap book now. There had been, when the project was announced, there had been a lot of buzz around it. That's since died down quite a bit. We don't know if it's going to be made or not, but, it doesn't hurt to maybe slab that up. Then this is, if it was high grade, I would slab it. I'm going to put it in a spec pile. This is Detective Comics 647. It's the first appearance of Stephanie Brown, who becomes the Spoiler. She is the daughter of Cluemaster, who was a villain that first came to light in the Silver Age, and she's also she becomes Batgirl. The Batgirl series of, I think it started in 2009, 2010. Stephanie Brown takes on the role of Batgirl. She's also Robin at some point in time. She's been romantically linked with Tim Drake. But this is a nice little spec book. She was in the Gotham Knights TV series, but who cares? That show was canceled. There was another kind of Arrowverse adjacent CW, I would say, disappointment. So that goes to the spec pile. This I just picked up because I thought it was cool. Scotty Young cover, Black Cat #1. Might use that as a giveaway. I like Scotty Young cover giveaways. Amazing Spider-Man 15. Alex Ross cover, Mary Jane as the new Iron Spider. And then this is also a pretty cool book. One of these DC Marvel crossovers in the mid-90s. It is a square bound. This is not quite a 9.8 contender. Green Lantern Silver Surfer. I got all those from Comics. And I only got books from one other vendor. Guy had a new collection of gold, silver, and some Bronze Age. So I just kind of dug through those to find stuff that was a little bit more interesting. And I did, I think. And this guy had grades on the back, and his grades were were quite conservative, I believe. This is issue #3 of Car 54, Where Are You? It's not a well-known show. I didn't know about this show till I think I was in college when it was on Nick at Night in the late 80s, early 90s. It was 2 seasons. This Nat Hiken created it, who also created Sergeant Bilko, starring Phil Silvers in the 50s. It was set and filmed in the Bronx, and it starred Joe E. Ross, who, folks of a certain age, he was a cartoon voice actor in by the 1970s, and Fred Gwynn, who many people remember as Herman Munster, others remembered as the judge in My Cousin Video. Wooder Utes. They are partners who are very different, and there's some hijinks involved. It's a show I found uproariously funny, very much a comedy just on attitude, and I think it was 8-issue series that Dell ran back in the early to mid 60s. So this is issue #3. I figured, hey, I'll pick that up. That is a save. That goes in the PC. Then I found this. Like when I flip through Golden Age boxes, I look for the wider books because I know those are true Golden Age 40s books. King Comics #121. I look for the May cover date, and I look to see, is that from 1946? I'm trying to collect May 1946. This has the Popeye supporting character Wimpy on it. It looks like he's all ready to find some hamburgers. He's got his salt and pepper shakers and his knife and fork in hand. And he's going to the bull ring. I guess he's looking for the... Ooh, that's kind of morbid. I guess he's looking for the downed bulls that will soon become hamburger. King's Comics was a Golden Age comic. Ace Comics was another one of them that was published by... I'm trying to think of the name of the publication. It was a dude's name. But what it was they would take newspaper strips, essentially, and reprint them. And the newspaper strips. So there'd be like, I think there's like a Mandrake the Magician in here. There are like maybe 5 pages of individual stories. So it's more of a compilation rather than original material. But these are pretty cool, and it's affordable stuff that, you know, this is in pretty nice condition, actually. He had it as a 4.5. I think it's more of a 5.5. It is really sharp, and it's 1946. Even though it's after the war, still a single staple. But that single staple is really tight. There's not much wrong with that book for a book that is 77 years old. So that is pretty cool. And I put it, okay. That goes in the save PC. That'll go in my May 1946 pile. And then the last book I picked up with the same vendor, and I thought it looked pretty sharp. Again, the grade on the back, I think he put a 5.0. I put a 7.0. because there's really nothing majorly wrong with this book. And it is Demon number 7, the first appearance of Clarion the Witch Boy. And, you know, if we see Justice League Dark, potentially see Demon in Justice League Dark, we could see Clarion the Witch Boy. I think that's possible. I think I have a copy of this, but I'm pretty sure that this is an upgrade over my PC copy. So this is going into the save. I put a little sticker with the year that it came out. So when I go to read books, I kind of intend to read them alphabetically. Although I spend so much time going to comic shows and cleaning and pressing and selling and buying comic books, I don't have nearly as much time as I would like to read comic books. So anyway, that's it. Just a quick little haul video here. Let me know what you thought about what I picked up and the process that I'm kind of using. What I liked about it, these comics, I mean, I have like 6 of these books are candidates, 9/8 candidates. This, I think, these first 2 are like close to $200 9/8 books. So that's cool stuff. Some of the others might not. I usually try to be like $150, maybe $100, or books that have room to grow, and I think Bishop does. I think Oblivion Song does. So that's good stuff to have, and you know, especially when you're not paying a lot for the raw copy. So thanks for stopping by. You can take a look at a couple of my other videos here. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.